Ladies and gentlemen, the long-awaited, highly anticipated conversation with somewhat of a podcast legend in my book, Rob Staggenborg.
Staggenborg.
Oh, God, I tell you, baby.
And if anybody recognizes that name, they may recognize me because I had a very long association with CBC High School. Worked in the administration there and in the marketing and public relations department for about 15 years. And that's where I went to high school. I know you went to high school, so I'm all about the brothers, man.
Yeah, and so the story goes is that you're a cousin of the Terry Michler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So our moms are sisters. So Terry's mom is my Aunt Dolores. Aunt Dolores, love her dearly. She's obviously passed on, but she was a great role model for me and for my brothers and sisters. And my mom and his mom were pretty close. They kind of hung out. They took care of my grandma quite a bit after my grandpa died. So they were always shuttling back and forth to Glasgow Village up there and up in Bethel Hills, up in not Bethel Hills, Bagnall Hills up there in North County. So we spent a long time there, and like I said, Terry's obviously been part of my life, and known him, loved him, respected him for many, many years. So actually kind of after high school, just went off to the military. I became a newspaper reporter, wrote for the Stars and Stripes, among other publications, and did that for about 7 years. And like I said, me and Terry kind of, I don't want to say fell out, but we just didn't really have in contact. I lived in Germany actually for 4 years, and actually was there in 1990 when Germany won the World Cup, which was just amazing and really fueled my passion for World Cup soccer. And I'll get into that a whole nother time. But when I came back, I got a job at CBC, and it's kind of funny. I remember, just my door opening up, and there Terry walked in. He goes, "Rob, you're here?" And I was like, "Yeah, they hired me." He's like, "Okay, well, welcome aboard. Tell me whatever I could do. I'm next door XYZ." And little did I know, 15 years later, I'd be, walking out the door, and then another 15 years later, we'd be doing our podcast. So, yeah, Terry's been a real mentor and a real good influence on me personally. Again, I'm not a soccer person, but just some of his lessons and some of his leadership advice has been really valuable to me growing up in a lot of ways. So,
well, you are a very distinctive type of individual, a man among men. And so the story goes is that you inspired me to even think about a podcast. I heard you interviewing Terry several times about soccer games, and they were very entertaining and informative, and you had that voice that was unmistakable. Some people, Wolfman Jack, they think I'm the Wolfman Jack up in St. Louis.
Yeah. Well, I have a story about that even. So when I was 18 years old, I went down there to Page Avenue and signed up for the Army. And the guy said, "Hey, what do you want to do?" I was like, "Man, I want to be a DJ. I was Mr. KC95. I love rock and roll. That was my whole life." I was like, "I want to be a DJ." Because I saw in the Army they had that skill. You could be a DJ, And so the guy looked at me and goes, "Son, with a voice like that, you'll never make it." And I'll tell you, I've lived that my entire life. I've had to say, okay, I'm going to be a podcaster, and I'm gonna make that son of a bitch listen to my voice one of these days. So.
Yeah, man. And once I will meet each other, you'll understand why I'm only audio only.
Yeah.
But the story comes out is that you have a new series that you're putting up with the Apple Podcasts. And before we start with the name and this and that, I asked her, I don't know how to get on this Apple Podcast. They say it's going to be, that's, you got to get there. And I mean to tell you, man, I got these two index fingers, and I think I'm developing a relationship with my art algorithm or something, what they call it. Is that I wanted to get, and all of a sudden I'm on.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah, you have to be on Apple Podcasts. And sometimes it's a struggle to get there, but once you get there, it just opens up a lot of flexibility to you. And actually, we publish on Spotify, and then
Yeah,
Spotify actually
I'm there.
sends the RSS feed directly to Apple Podcasts, so everything updates and blah blah blah. I know people who care about podcasting care. People who don't care about podcasting don't care at all. So I'll leave that alone.
Yeah,
So,
but RSS,
but
I know
yeah,
what it means now.
yeah.
And so the whole story is that.
Real stupid shit is like I like to say it. So I don't know if
So
I could cuss on your show or not, but I did.
yeah, so there it is. And so all this happened. Can you just pull back the curtain and tell us, promote the series that you and your
Sure,
cousin Terry
sure.
go?
I'm really happy to because I like to be able to get the story out because again it was something that's like man, I got kind of caught up in the World Cup fever and being here in America and a little frustrated because I wasn't really hearing anything about it. There's it's not really being covered in the news, and you know what I'm saying, it just wasn't as I don't think as big as you'd find it in Europe or something like that. And that's something Terry and I talk about all the time, just the culture clash about soccer and the different nations. So it really just started off with just like, hey, Terry, I was working for another podcast and I decided, hey, I'd like to do a little World Cup segment. I was like, let me call Terry and see what he's kind of got on the World Cup. And as we got to talking, I started thinking, like, man, Terry's got all this knowledge and he's just, really kind of retired. He's not really going into an office anymore. It's like, man, we got to be able to get this thing out. I don't care if I make a dollar off of it or if I make $0 off of it. I want to be able to just preserve Terry's memory and just get him out there talking about soccer because, man, you can just hear the passion. You can hear his opinions. You can hear you can see the mind working when he's going through these answers. And to me, it's just fascinating. I really love it. So it's really just a situation where we want to just get Terry's stuff out there. We created a Substack where we could, kind of start sharing out some of his articles. And I'm not sure if you've ever read some of his articles, but they're great. They really get into a lot more than soccer concepts, a lot more, like leadership type of concepts. So to me, I just thought, if nothing else, we'll do it for the World Cup. And then as we started doing it, I started getting a lot of feedback from a lot of coaches, and Terry shared it out. And now people are really, really responding to it so well. And yeah, we really appreciate any input or any promotion we could get because again, it just was just really just an opportunity for the world to hear from Terry about the World Cup. Because my gosh, if there's one guy that needs, that has a just great insight into the international game, it's Terry Michler. So that's really where it all stems from. Again, we appreciate donations. We're looking for sponsors, all that kind of stuff. But the bottom line is, here's an opportunity for Terry to comment on the first, North American World Cup and do it on a daily basis. And, one of the best conversations I have every day is when me and Terry get to connect later in the day between the third and fourth games, So I really appreciate that. And I've learned a lot about soccer just as a fan. So, yeah, that's the whole story about it. Again, we really appreciate everyone's response to it. It's been great. Again, we welcome people who they send us an email that, the show is Extra Time with Terry Michler at gmail.com. They can send us questions or interact with us. But the main thing was just getting Terry's wisdom out there about the World Cup. What is he seeing as a coach? What is he liking? What doesn't he like? And, kind of peeling back the Hollywood layer and getting back to the soccer is what I kind of wanted to do, and hopefully we're doing that.
Absolutely. That's what everybody says, is that it's very home style. Is that just so that you know that I know that I just turned 69, and I'm learning. What is it? How do I get a hold of this? How do I listen again?
Just go on the Apple Podcast and you go to the little search button and you just type in Extra Time with Terry Michler, hit return, and one of the results should be you'll see Terry's shot, a little promo shot about whatever he's talking about for the day. We try to change the topics every day during the World Cup, but obviously we'll slow down when we're done with the World Cup. But and then you can just follow the show from there. Just look it up on Apple Podcasts and hit the follow button.
Magnificent. I think I could follow those directions. Very well done, lad. Well done. And
and people are really getting into niche media. They want media that's really specifically speaks to them. So hitting the soccer niche has been really interesting for me from a marketing standpoint, and just seeing how passionate they are, because we've posted some of the things on LinkedIn and getting responses from people I don't even know, from different international companies or what have you. So soccer just hits a nerve with so many people, and I'm just happy to be able to facilitate Terry to be able to do it, because let's be honest, Terry would not be able to maybe connect a podcast. Just would not probably be able to do it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But it's amazing. There was a fella that we went to high school with that he said, man, you got to get him recorded, man, because we were just talking around in the circle, with the players. Sure. And he's, man, those are pearls of wisdom you got to, hold for life. And so it's always been a nice deal with Terry over these a year and a half or whatever. But the story goes is that you're putting it to the next level, because I'm not kidding you, man. A couple weeks ago, we were talking. I said, Terry, I can't do it, man. I'm not the guy. But, man, somebody's got to be the guy to pump you up, to get you to the next level. And, that's that. How we got together, Rob, with this podcast is that when he lost his leg, I went to visit him. And I said, hey, man, tell everybody how you doing. And he said, yeah, it's okay, man. And when you hear from the voice,
sure,
that's a real good thing.
Well, I will tell you this, Wills, as a member of Terry's family, I really appreciated that a lot. And I just, to being, I'm 3,000 miles away over here on the West Coast, so not able really to be there. So it was just comforting to know that Terry was okay. You know what I mean? Because that's a big shock to everybody in our family, for sure.
Yeah, man.
Terry, within our family structure, Terry is, one of the guy, the kings, the anointed one. He was so successful in everything he's done, and everybody's so proud of him. And obviously, everybody had a lot of concerns for him. So, just appreciate that. And the other thing, I want to make sure I tell you, I really appreciate you telling me that about those little CBC videos, because, that was before all the Instagram and before all this stuff. Yeah. I just thought, man, if we could just get these guys on just little clips and put them out on the website or whatever. That'd be great. People would love doing that. And some of the coaches were like, I don't want to do that. That's not my thing, blah, blah, blah. Terry always said, okay, I'll do it. Even if it was stupid, even if it didn't make any sense, he always did it. And you know what? It made me a better journalist. It made me better at doing that sort of thing. But also it was good for the school, because I think the school then got onto the cadet network, and I was there at the very early stages when they started that whole cadet network, and we were able to broadcast the games. And then I left, went on to a couple other different opportunities. And to me, that's one of the legacies that I'm not trying to get any credit for, but just I love being there in those early days of the cadet network when we were trying to broadcast soccer games and find out people who knew soccer, who could keep up with the game and broadcast it. That was really an exciting time for me, man. So I appreciate you saying that. That to me really made my day, man.
Oh, great, man. Because it is, it's the reality of the language of the heart, man, that it was unbelievable. And just by you doing what you did got me to where I'm at right now with the podcast. So,
well, that is awesome. But again, like I said, it was all rudimentary. It was pretty, thrown together, cut together, pretty raw. But I really do appreciate, because that's my, I was always a writer and didn't really get into the video, and that was kind of my crossover. So I appreciate you saying that. I was very unsure of myself, but it was something I'm glad that we did for preserving. So anyway.
Well, that's why you are now hereby in the Wales Certified Hall of Affinity. Rob, you made it, baby. You made it.
Wow. I'll tell you what. I was elected to the CBC Hall of Fame. Was very honored to do that. This is probably better than that, because I think I would get more mileage out of the Whale, being Wales certified.
Yeah, and you got the rhythm. You got the rhythm, baby.
Yeah, can't wait, man. Can't wait. Well, listen, hey, listen, you have to listen to our upcoming shows. Terry's going to be breaking on Portugal. They had a big comeback win today. Looking ahead to the U.S., what they need to do in the next round. And Terry's definitely has some opinions on that. The officiating, we're going to be talking about the whole controversy with the red card and the shirts, going up over the face. So, yeah, we're trying to keep it topical and trying to keep it newsy and try to keep it fun. So really appreciate the plug. And, yeah, it's an extra time with Terry Michler. And like I said, during the World Cup, we're trying to do one just about every day if we can.
Hey, Rob, can you take out the shovel, get deep? What time does people come to listen?
Well, I try to get everything posted usually by about 7:30 my time, which might be about 9:30. So it's more of a late night listen. But once you get into it, you can call up in the morning. It'll be right there, and you can take a listen to it. I know I get real techie, and I set my notifications so the show notifies me every time there's a new episode, which I'm going to do with your show next. I'm going to do that absolutely next, and start getting my own podcast following going. So, yeah, it's a little bit of a later listen, but we try to cover all the games up until like that third, usually the start or the mid time of the third game, and then we'll pick up for the next day with the late game. So.
Well, I tell you, you're going to have to close the blinds in the morning. You'll have midnight oil with Terry, but he ain't getting up in the morning.
No, it's no problem for me. But I appreciate the soccer community. Again, I grew up in St. Louis. I'm from, I went to CBC, and although I wasn't on the soccer team, a lot of my friends were part of those legendary teams in the mid '80s that were winning the championships every year, and just was a great time and a great part of my experience. And then to be able to travel to Holland with Terry twice in 2009 and 2010, I think it was a great experience and really opened me up to a lot more than soccer. So I really appreciate that. And again, Terry's just always been a good, always guy. He's always checked in on me. I've always checked in on him. So yeah, it seems to be working so far.
Well, you got 10 more minutes with me?
Oh yeah, I guess as long as you want. I was trying to keep it short for you. I get a little chatty. Terry will tell you that. I get a little chatty sometimes.
The longest goodbye you ever have, Rob, is saying hello to the whale.
Oh, there you go. I love it.
So to peel back that onion and stuff, what were you doing before you understood that, hey, man, you have your Terry Michler, that World Cup, boom, getting this serious. What were you, talking about before that?
So yeah, I produced a podcast for a guy up in the Pacific Northwest. It's kind of a local, political sports, kind of, top of the week, top of the day sort of show. And I originally thought, he's like, hey, we ought to do something about the World Cup. And again, these are guys not really all that involved in soccer, but I will say the Portland area is hugely involved with soccer.
Yeah.
It's a great place to see a soccer game.
Go Timbers!
Just says, yeah. Oh my God, the Timber Army. But this guy just said, hey, I got someone that probably would come on for the World Cup, and as it turned out, he couldn't be there, so I just interviewed Terry. So I've been working on his podcast for about 3 years now. It's called Stand Tall with Dave Brown. It's a little bit more on the conservative side. Not to show my politics, but again, it's just a client for me. It's not really my politics necessarily. But it's a couple of people up here in Oregon are leading the fight for conservative politics and, Christian ethics and things like that. So it's been interesting for sure. But it taught me the skills how to actually do a podcast, how to put it together. And like I said, after 3 years now, we have it going pretty good. Have a pretty good following and stuff. And I just thought, hey, for Terry, we should at least do one or two. And then I was like, boy, my gosh, we got to really just do this every day because we can't. How can I skip over Argentina? Putting a pound in on Austria. I'm not going to skip over Portugal. I mean, These are the storylines every day with the World Cup, and that's what I love about it. Because again, I was in the news business. I was a daily news reporter. I wrote for the St. Louis Business Journal for a while, and just loved that knack for the story. And that's something that's always been burning inside me. So I just putting this together with soccer and being able to connect with Terry. Just trust me, the show's not me. The show is Terry, 100%. I get it,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm the ugly girlfriend going to the prom, hoping she gets a ride home.
Oh man. Okay, hey, What about you're talking the techie side about what I got? What I have is one of those pod tracks P4,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and I press a button, the light goes on, and I was thinking I'm okay. And
Yeah.
but if something is not right, oh my God! And so I was wondering, what do you, I'm going to upgrade, ladies and gentlemen, so get
Sure.
those donations in and be a part of the movement. All right, now here it
There you go.
goes. What do you have?
So mine is a pretty simple workflow. I don't make it too technical because I'm not good at plugging X, Y, and RC and the VGA, and I'm not
Yeah,
good at that. That's
baby.
not me, dude, man.
No
I got
way.
friends who can do that in their sleep, and I love them. But again, they're not really always enjoyable people to be around because they're really particular about everything. I'm not that. So me, I was just going for something easy. So tried a couple different things. What I first did, I bought a Zoom. It's basically a Zoom unit
Yeah.
where you can record live video. It takes in XLR cables, and I just record onto a disc, and I pop out the disc, and then do some editing where I throw on an opening, do my show and adjust the audio, and then I do all that in Final Cut Pro, and then just export it as an MP3. It's a really simple workflow, and for me it works great. I can change up some, again, there's no graphics, so I'll just have to lay in the new audio track and kind of adjust some of the audio volumes and stuff. So it's pretty simple. Again, I didn't want to make it where it was so labor intensive that I was gonna be spending hours and hours, and still I'm spending a lot, at least an hour and a half on it every day, but I enjoy doing it, trust me.
Yeah, right.
But it just takes time, and that's just the whole thing about, start a podcast. But man, there's so many hoops and so many things you got to jump through, and so many people trying to sell you things, and they'll do it this way and be one button, and it just doesn't work like that sometimes.
Wow, man. I tell you, here at Bloom Boom Studios in downtown Holly Hills, I was hoping that there would be a throng down there, but there is nobody coming to the Whales to help or to criticize.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I'm built for mobility. I'm built to be able to pack it up in a suitcase and go wherever I need to go and open it back up. So that's where I try to build.
Mine's like a transistor. I mean, I could put it actually in a chopping bag. But you have the actual case with the levers and everything?
Well, no, I mean the Zoom unit it looks like a big tape recorder basically. I don't know if you've ever seen those. Maybe it's like press conferences or whatever. I paid about $200 for that. I mean, through Amazon, and then just got a HD card, a 32 gig card or whatever, because that gives me the flexibility. If we get into it and we're starting to talk about something that's really boring, I can edit it down, or I can, sometimes, let's face it, me or Terry, we have issues breathing and coughing and hacking and sneezing and snorting, and sometimes it helps to be able to take those out. Sometimes.
Oh yeah, man, absolutely. Oh my gosh, yeah. The story is that I'm oh my God, sticker shot for $79. And I looked at $2.99, and I'm saying, someday.
Well, again, like I said, we maybe I'm kind of interested in what you got, because I'm wondering if maybe I could have got by using just that. But you live and you learn, and you just move forward.
Yeah.
And, everybody's kind of navigating the space on their own. There's not a real, any sort of class you can take necessarily. You can watch a couple of videos, but even then, what gets me is when they tell me to hook into my LAN network. I'm like, well, I haven't had a LAN network in, in 15 years. What are you talking about? Hooking my LAN network. So anyway, challenges usually, but it's been fun. It's been fun. It's as my wife says, it keeps me kind of out of her hair, so she can watch whatever TV she wants to watch or whatever.
Nice.
You know how it is.
Yeah, and I really found it. I used to go on live locations and would set up the microphone and so forth. You know? Well, now I could just give the phone number and plug in the cable, just a little cable
Hmm.
from the phone into the pack.
Wow.
And there I have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I need to be taking notes from you, Wales.
Well, there you go, baby. You know,
You're in the hall of fame of hooking up the podcast.
well, I tell you,
I'll tell you the thing. If I were ever nominated for all, it would be for getting on Apple iTunes and or Apple Podcasts and not even knowing you're on there.
Yeah.
That was Hall of Fame level material.
Oh, baby. I mean, to tell you, that was, it gave me goosebumps. So the ticket comes out is that in 2027, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have an audio visual of the whale. Is that?
Whoa.
Yeah, baby. Because I seen.
Don't tease us now.
Because I seen where it is a real simple deal. You put it on a tripod and you turn it on and it gives you, and then everything goes in one. As a matter of fact, they do the editing inside the machine.
Well, I'll tell you what I've learned in this business, if it sounds too good to be true, it is definitely too good to be true, Wales. You got to be smarter. Hey, you know what? You got to call them the Gulliver, the Gullible Studios. That's what they call it, right?
Oh, man.
I love you, buddy. I'm just giving you trouble.
I tell you, it's a Michler trait. I think I know where they got it from, the mama.
Yeah, you got to be tough in this family, or you don't get any turkey at the holiday. You have to arm wrestle turkey from cousins.
Oh, man. But you have, with Father Jim, he'll help you out.
Oh, yeah, Father Jim. Yeah, trust me, I keep him his phone number right next to the chief of police, just in case they ever need a real miracle.
All
Father
right.
Jim Michler, Terry's brother, my cousin, great person. Spent his entire life, in missionary work, and very passionate about his time down in Bolivia. So I have a lot of respect for Jimmy Michler as well, and Tommy Michler too, and Diane Michler as well. All the Michlers were just great cousins, great people.
Oh,
and enjoyable.
The sister.
And, the other thing. I also want, there's another aunt that we had that I don't ever really talk about. She died when I was pretty young, my Aunt Jackie. Well, she was married to a guy named Bob Fitzgerald, who was known as Abe. He was a referee.
Yeah.
Referee down in South in St. Louis. They called him Abe. Abe, that was my cousin, my Uncle Bob, and he obviously passed on as well. But Terry's touched a lot of people in the soccer community, a lot of lives, and definitely has a great legacy going.
Right on. In the at the Soccer Hall of Fame, he always puts in a word for his people in an ad, and so I'm able to go and then bring him the ad book back.
That's great. I know that just because he's not mobile as much, I know he doesn't want to be disconnected from all that stuff. So,
yeah.
And that was the other thing. I know Terry doesn't get around much. I know he's not able to go down to Obie Clark's down there and watch the World Cup games or anything.
Yeah.
That's not his crowd. That's not his scene. And he's probably just sitting in his room watching them. And, like I said, I wanted to give him an opportunity to kind of speak to the fans and speak to people he's touched. If you disagree with him, send us a note. Say, Terry, I think you're really wrong, or you dropped the ball. But I guarantee you, there won't be many of those. That's for sure.
Right on, man. And the thing is, he allowed me to be his chauffeur for a while.
Yeah.
That when if he needs to get going, he calls me. I put the cap on and I chauffeur him around in that.
That's right. He was telling me about the chauffeur cap. Yeah, he's mentioned that a few times. So,
yeah.
And again, thank you for doing that. Again, I think a lot of people in the soccer community, when when Terry was riding high, man, they wanted to be right next to him. But, when things started going a little south for him and he started having some health issues, people maybe weren't as available as maybe he thought they would be. And that's hurtful. But, man, I appreciate you being there for him and doing that for him and just being a friend to him, because that meant the world to him and his family. I know that for sure.
Wow. Well, I don't know if Tom would want me to be his brother, an honorary brother or something. Tom Michler, the little guy.
I know definitely. I've done some work with Tom, and we actually did a radio show on K-Fans together for a little while. Called Mind Games. So that was man.
Yeah. Wow. So
you're bringing back the Wayback Machine now when you talk about the old Mind Games.
Yeah, man. Did you mix all that? I mean, that was top flight radio, baby.
Well, it was really good. I think Tom, it just became a cost with it, and just trying to find sponsors and trying to chase sponsorships. You know how it is. That's always the ultimate goal, is to make enough money to keep the lights on and the show going. And that's always a struggle, whether you're a podcaster. Again, back then because we bought the airtime and we were trying to, or I should say Tom bought the airtime, and then we were trying to produce the show to make some of the money back. And that's a tough way to do accounting, when you're working backwards that way.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah. He said, what are you casing me for? Come on, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, it wasn't like we were living the high life either. We were just trying to get the show going. And again, K-Fans was a great opportunity and a great chance. We were on Saturday mornings, and we just had so much fun doing that show. But again,
the marketing meeting when you got hey, if they would just do this and that, we'd all be okay.
Yeah, well, it's easier said than done. A lot of people, have master's degree in marketing and, fail at it too. So, it's
I'm on my way, baby. I tell you, I'm on my way. I tell you. And
but I will tell you, there's a market for, people in their 60s and 70s, to do podcasting, because I think, there's a lot of folks who want to learn about it, or maybe want to break through the mystique about it,
Well, where it all began was I was going to be Motown, a white guy from Motown from North St. Louis on the street corner. And that kind of fell through a little bit. And then we did the soccer stuff. And I was never a DJ. I could never with the the headphones and the couple of the LPs go. I could never get that going. Well,
just remember, I had a random stranger at the Army tell me I didn't have a voice. I didn't have a voice for radio, so he crushed my dreams. Some random fat dude named Gene or something.
Oh man! Well, the whole story goes out is that when you have that producer, like I could imagine, are you at the same location with the fella that you were helping?
Yeah, I mean, we're in the same city. I mean, he lives just across town. I still do his podcast, and we still, you can still find it on Apple Podcasts. But it's his show. I just kind of feed him some questions and things like that.
Okay.
This to me is a lot more of what I'm into, because I love soccer. I love Terry. I love just listening to him speak. And again, Terry's taught me a lot of lessons that went beyond the playing field. Just how to treat people, how to win with class, how to lose with class, and and those are important lessons that go beyond sports.
Absolutely.
In my lifetime, just not getting a job or not getting an opportunity, instead of throwing a big fit or writing a hate mail, just taking it in stride and learn from it. And that's always been something that Terry's brought to me, and I love him for it. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, Terry really helped me out with my self-confidence. Because my fan mail was, hey, man, do something with that voice, will you? Come on.
I get that too. I get that too all the time. But you know what? You just go with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
What? You tell them, I say two things. What's the name of your podcast? I want to hear your podcast.
All right.
And number two, don't listen. If it bothers you, go somewhere else. There's tons of podcasts to do. I don't entertain it. I don't go along with it. But I understand when you're first starting, it's crushing. It's like, dude, you don't have to be a dick about it.
All right. Well,
yeah,
we're making it up. The whistle is about to blow. 5 more minutes, okay?
Sounds good, man. You hit me with whatever else you got, man.
All right. What I got going is the whole story of, say, for instance, you would just go viral, baby. You'd be like that goalkeeper. You got 1 million, people.
Oh yeah, the Sissio. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that today. Get Terry's take on that. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah. So you would have that you would come on the scene, that you would be the Portland Cat on podcasts and this and that. Would that change what?
No, go for it. I was just gonna say, Terry used to call me Shaggy all the time. That's where my nickname Shaggy came from. Terry hit me with that, and that stuck with me for years at CBC.
Man.
Almost to the point when I was in a professional setting, I didn't really like it. I was like, come on, man, that's not my name. But for the sake of the soccer world, I think a lot of people know me as Shaggy, so I'll lean into it.
So the story, would it change you, man?
No, I mean, I'll tell you what, I would probably be paying like my cable bill a little bit sooner, or I'd probably, something like that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think these things are so hit or miss. I mean, that guy's viral today. Next week no one will know who he is anymore. It's just
exactly.
Yeah. The guy that I work for here in Portland, he was a coach, a high school sports coach. He coached, not soccer, but he coached, tennis and some things like that. And he basically, gave up his position because of some of the issues going on with, boys playing girls sports and things like that. So he was somewhat political. So he went viral, and he was getting people from all across the world hitting him and stuff. And that was kind of amazing to watch. But I'll tell you what, that only lasted, about a month, and then it was down to just the normal thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It didn't really mean we're getting tons of money coming in. Like no one showed up at my door with a bucket of money.
Yeah.
Maybe they showed up to his door. Maybe they didn't show up at his door. I don't know. But anyway.
My marketing plan is to get like a certificate. Like, those boosters when we were in grade school, we put it in the window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
Yeah, you get a whale certified. You can put a whale certified deal in your home.
Well, do you have stickers or something, or are they? If you got stickers, you got to send me one. I'll put one up here in Portland.
Absolutely.
I'll put one up here in Portland, man.
I'll pay for the postage.
I'll put it up in Portland, man. Yeah, we are actually. I work at the college up here, and they. I actually taught a class, and I actually just work in one of the offices. That's my real job, my daytime job.
Yeah.
But the soccer team is the women's soccer team is great. They're like national champions. George Fox University. They're in the D3. But boy, they're a pretty good little soccer school up here as well. So
yeah,
it's been fun. Soccer's such a worldwide phenomenon. I love being part of it, even on the outside.
Yeah, there's a Whale certified former professional and a college coach called Bill Irwin from Northern Ireland, and just an outstanding guy. And he's in the Portland area.
Oh, I'll look that up. Yeah.
I guess once you go there, you never leave.
Yeah, well, like I said, here the thing about Portland is it's going to rain from October 15th all the way to May 15th. It's going to rain almost every day. But boy, from May 15th to October 14th, it's going to be sunny, 72. Right, today's about 80 degrees, beautiful, no rain.
Nice.
It's just you got to know when to know that it does rain here half the year. So.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up, Rob, and how we do it here at Whale Certified is to say, hey, Rob, whatever you want to say to who you ever want to say it to for as long as you want to say it for, this is your time.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's a great thing. I obviously want to thank my wife because obviously politically you have to thank your wife for giving up time and stuff. But actually, we really want to thank Terry for being open to the idea. I know he could just say, I don't want to do this. But I think he really enjoys it. I really enjoy doing it with him. And to me, I've just learned so much about the team. So I go into the next game kind of knowing what to look for and knowing maybe,
Yeah.
what could be a bit of a rub or it just, I feel like it makes me a better fan to listen to the games and watch the games. So I just really thank Terry for giving, not just me, but just like thousands of people across the world. I know he's been traveling across to Europe and been to different countries, but just his whole CBC family and the whole family in St. Louis soccer community, just all the people have been impacted by him. I'm just really happy to be able to do this opportunity, whether they hate it or love it, I don't care. I'm just glad to be able to put it on tape and get it out there for Terry, to me, that I appreciate Terry being open to it, and he's such a classy guy. I just appreciate the style and class he brings to everything, and I definitely learned a lot from him. So, again, really happy to do it, and I really appreciate the shout out. I'll be shouting out the Wales Certified on tonight's show, but definitely thank you for the shout out, and I'll be looking forward to checking the show out for sure, my friend, and coming back again, hopefully, if you'll have me again.
Oh, you got an open door, baby. You got in the Wales Certified Hall of Affinity.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I can just kind of, I'm like the Tom Hanks. I can show up with a green jacket any time, huh?
All right, then.
Oh, man. All right, buddy. Good to talk to you. And, hey, God bless you. God bless everybody in Wales Nation. And just enjoy the hell out of this World Cup because, man, you people don't have any idea. This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Yep. There you go. All right, Rob. So long. And
hey,
this has been Wales Certified, and you too can be Wales Certified if you try.